Good morning. Happy New Year. Welcome to my channel. We are in 2023. Good morning. Welcome to my channel. And Happy New Year. We made it to 2023. I'm so pleased. I'm so happy to be speaking to you. We are 1.5 week old in this program. This is a channel I set in 2012. The channel has been idle for 10 years. It was only last week that I started to do a video, to post video, and to prepare the channel and to really organize how to move forward with the program for this channel. This channel is here to stay, and we are going to be here as long as it takes, to the extent that I am around, to the extent that you are watching, to the extent that you are actually responding, you are participating, subscribing, liking the video. As long as you're giving me a good feedback, every feedback is good, as long as it's done respectfully and constructively. Give me leave a comment below and let me know what you want me to talk about. This is a place for speaking. Like if you watch my previous video, that is the idea. I want us to enjoy our freedom to speak, our freedom to be social, and that is why we say this is a social media. And social media, the way I have tried to develop the idea, it's not a new idea. It's just for people to realize who they are in a society, where what opportunity is there for you. We are the common people society. We are social. When you say social media, they're actually talking to the majority of the population in a country, in a world. Yeah, I've said how this channel in the beginning, speaking about the topical cost of living, and within that perimeter, I've been attempting to actually point out what it means to be in hardship, because without hardship, you cannot talk about the cost of living. The cost of living is only relevant when there are a group of people who struggle to make ends meet, and there are people who need help with day-to-day requirement necessities, and this is what the cost of living entails. If people had money, if people had the capacity to do what they need to do, there wouldn't be any cost of living. The government, in particular, would not acknowledge that there is a cost of living unless the government itself knows that the people are struggling financially, people are struggling to put food on the table, people are struggling to access energy, people are struggling in different ways. So the cost of living has been very topical, and I have decided to kickstart this channel with that topic. And this topic is now expanding into something called the welfare state. In the previous recent video I posted, I spoke about the welfare state. Going forward in the next few days or weeks, I will be examining further the idea involving the cost of living. I will provide a background of the support consistent with the reality of the cost of living as being the facts of the welfare state. The welfare state is actually something we started many years ago. It maximized, it climax is in origin. It climax is in origin since the Second World War. But the factors which gave rise to the cause of to the welfare state was actually the Great Depression and all the other crises, including the Second World War. So every time there's a crisis, there is always an economic impact, and we have seen the 2008 financial crisis, the credit crunch, which was a global phenomenon, damaging the economy of the world, and the consequences of that was actually in Britain, for example, and also in the Western world. Government introduced policies of austerity, which actually impoverish the less well off. It actually impoverished society. Society, in my pointing, society are those who struggle, whether you work, whether you don't, whether you're old, whether you're young, whether you're a mother or your father, whether you are able or disabled. If you have to work for a living, you're poor. It doesn't matter if you're British, Asian, European, African. If you work for a living, by definition, you're poor. Rich people don't have to work. And in my estimation, globally, on average, about 80% of the world population are poor in that respect. So every time we talk about the cost of living, we are talking about people who are poor, and every time we try to solve this problem in different ways, especially also in terms of government policy and programs. We are best to look at the welfare state, because the welfare state was created to provide society with the support they need. It encompasses something called social security. Especially, let me talk about the UK in terms of the welfare state, but the structure are quite similar. The purposes, the thinking is global. Maybe it's not really in developing countries like such as in Africa, but the welfare state is actually in Asia, in America, in Europe, in all these regions, in these continents. It might be featuring in places like Africa in one form or another, but it might not be the welfare state necessarily in Africa. Because the context of Africa might be slightly different in the sense that most citizens of African countries have land, free land. They have access to free land. Their land hasn't been taken away by the state yet. I believe the more development goes to Africa, the more likely ordinary people will also lose their lands. That was what happened in the developed world, especially in Europe and in America. The state took away land from the people through different mechanisms. That's why poverty became serious enough for the state to think of setting up a welfare state. People, if you lose your land, you cannot grow your own food. You cannot actually access firewood for cooking or energy for warming yourself. You cannot access building materials, and you cannot build your own property. You have to depend either on the state, or you become a destitute. And because of the history of state creation, and because of the various institutions of the state, including the administrative, the legal, the parliamentary institutions, including the military and the security infrastructure, and the militarization of the state. The government and government officials, those who rule over the world in different countries, they concentrated a lot of power and influence. But in the manner of rule, rulers are actually the few and not the many. And as a result, they accumulated a lot of wealth by ruling over the world and over the people of the world. So it is correct to say that the modern state wasn't built peacefully. It was built using force and violence. That's why people who are now caught out, they are caught out in a violent and unjust and unfair environment. The government is now trying to bring peace by any means possible. They still use the army, the military, they use force, they use violence, they use the law. The law is supposed to correct people who do not do the right thing. But the law in the modern society has taken on the form um, of the law has turned into an instrument of oppression, because the people who exercise the law are not really the right people to do that. No, it's more than the people after the system created, because the system was created violently. Peace did not create societies. Peace did not create the state. You see, it was created by war and with violence and very unpeaceful method. So now it's up to us to decide where we go from here. The government is trying to mitigate injustice, social injustice, and inequalities by setting up this welfare state. So the problem with the government trying to resolve these social issues is that there is a belief that the private sector, the market economy, should control society and the economy. And the private companies, the private system, the market economy is failing to provide public sector service, and it cannot run the public sector. But the government has been selling off the public sector. It's something called public-private partnership. That is not true. Public-private partnership is not true at all. It is real, and it means the government is selling off the country to the highest bidder, and that is not right. Because if you sell off the country, who is going to buy the country? The rich people, the super rich, maybe 20 or 15% of the population will buy the country. Now, if Britain is sold off to the highest bidder, to the rich, and if Europe is sold off, if Africa is sold off to rich people, where are the poor people going to be? They have to move in and live with the rich. The rich will have to look after the poor, because the government will sell itself, will sell the government. When you talk about the government, you're talking about the economy. I mean, if you have sold of the economy, the government stops, because you can't find money to finance the military, the security system, the technology system. All this will be private. So we have seen now with the mercenaries, these are private armies. We have seen now with the police. The police is now being are being modified to include a private security system. This used to be the police. The police used to be the military, because you see, the origin of the security infrastructure started with militarism. The army evolved into the police. The police evolved into private security. Private security is now evolving in private security force. That is what is happening. And there's nothing we can do about it now. Privatization is here to stay. Marketization is here to stay. And so, what we're trying to do in this channel is to talk about these social issues and other issues. Because when we talk about social issues, society means people, ordinary people who are actually victims of violence and oppression. So we need to talk about it and see our best to survive, because there's nothing we can do about the state. There's something we can do is actually to start talking about these problems and to start gathering information. We need to start understanding what is going on, because it is our life. You see, it is our life. We only live once. And how about the future? Do you care about your children? Do you care about the world? I see people talk about the environment. Do you care about the environment? If you do care about the environment, then you have to talk about these problems and see our best to start educating people. I believe the main issue, the main way to solve this problem is actually to start educating ourselves. We now live in an age of information, and information means we gather knowledge through learning, through research, through talking, through dialogue, or even monologue, like the way I'm doing. We need to start talking. That's why I created this channel. That's why I'm inviting you to support this channel so that this channel can grow. To join in the conversation, watch the video, leave a comment below if you think what we're doing is right. Click like if you like the video, so that I keep creating more. Because if I know people like the video, I keep creating more. I keep being motivated. I need your support. Click the bell notification button, the bell sign, so that you don't miss out on any video. I will be creating this video. I will be talking about this issue. The kickstarting point. We are actually 1 week, more than 1 week old, in terms of production, in terms of participation. So what I will be doing is actually to continue producing video, to make sure that we get involved in talking, because we are humans. We have the resources. We have all the resources to preserve society, to preserve individuals, to actually take over control of our lives. We need to be empowered to carry on speaking, and try to increase our understanding of what the problems are before we start thinking about the solution. Because the solution, we can go to the government now to get help, like benefits, maybe public housing. Maybe we can go and demonstrate to try and get the government to increase our pay, to get the government to improve public service, to get the government to improve the waiting time at the hospital, and also to improve the staffing level at the hospital, to invest more on frontline services in these public sectoral services. We can do that now, but the government has a lot of power. It can listen to us. It may not listen to us, but it can listen to us more if we are well informed about what the problem is, so that we can speak to our MPs, we can speak to our leaders, we can speak to our supporters, because we are many, we are not few. We are 80%. We, the poor, are many. If we begin to use social media, social means people, common people, poor people. So social media is for poor people. Let us take this opportunity provided for us to us through technology, through freedom. This freedom given to us. Let us take opportunity of it while it lasts. Because, the government may shut it down in about 10, 20, 100 years. But within the 10, 20, 30 years, if we can develop knowledge as ordinary people and start advising government to start acting peacefully, we teach the government how to be peaceful. We, the people, that is what democracy means. The people speak. And so this social media is actually an instrument of democratization. If democracy is of value, then every government officials, every leader of this country should support social media, not really try to prevent people from participating. But my take on the people, the society, the social people, my advice to you is that be good. Learn to be good. You cannot really criticize anyone if you believe you start behaving in society like you are a wild animal. There are some people who are actually extremists. Extremists, the way they drink. Drinking is good. Dancing is good. But don't dance like you are a wild animal. Eating food is good, but don't eat like you are a pig or something. Getting fat is good. I am an African. If you are a fat man or woman, you're beautiful. But you have to really be moderate. Everything should be done in moderation with respect. You see, if we are in a society, if we are to bring change, we have to do the right thing. We have to talk here and learn what is right and wrong. Anyone who doesn't understand the purpose of distinguishing what between what is wrong, right and wrong, should actually be a student of this channel to learn that yes, I want something for myself. I am in the individual. I know what I want for myself. But what about us? See, we are really very, very stupid if we think we are individuals and we are not society, because we are both. Individuals form society. Society are actually people who are poor. That's what the government said when they created social welfare. Social welfare. Social means everything social. Social security, social services, social housing. So social means these are people who are actually social relate to people who are poor in society. And we are the many, not the few people who are rich. Let them continue to be rich. Let them create as much wealth as possible. But our learning, our educating of society should involve teaching the rich people. If we actually unite as poor people, as the majority of the worldly population, we can learn using things like social media, like this channel. We can learn how to teach our leaders to be clever. See, we can teach them how to be clever. Even if there are few, we can teach rich people to be clever. That we are a society. If we are in help, if we are in trouble, help us. We don't need taxation. Tax using government policy is proof that we are not good enough as a society. The rich and the poor. Something is missing. The government should not tax us. We should give willingly. But because we don't give willingly. Even poor people can help one another. If somebody falls down, if you're poor, it doesn't mean you should leave such a person there. I know we are individual. We should care about ourselves first. But we should care about our family, our communities, our society. We can have no right to lecture anyone what to do if we ourselves do the wrong thing. The right thing is to be a good human being. Okay? Being good is what it is. You can do everything. Human being, it's a man or woman, you are the best. You are the best. If you invest the right thing in your life, you are the best. And that is a sign of hope. You see, you're the best. If you look at your life, if you look at the life of a fellow human, we are complete. We lack nothing. We may have diseases, we may lack food, we may lack energy, but you know that we have more than resources to overcome everything. We can do things you can only imagine. I'm going to stop this video now. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting me. Welcome to 2023. I have a good feeling about this year. I've been getting really, really beautiful, wonderful feedback from people who have been viewing my video. They have given me a lot of encouragement. They have had some really nice things to say about my video, and I will carry on improving on the presentation, on looking at for the information, also structuring the presentation, but also I will improve on the equipment. I've been talking to a few people for advice on what best to use. What I'm using now by way of equipment is quite basic. I'm using my mobile phone and I'm running out of capacity. Memory, my memory data is running out because media takes a lot of memory space. Have a good morning wherever you are, good night from wherever you are, good day. Continue really visiting this channel, helping. Have a wonderful time. Have a very, very happy new year. Thank you. Bye-bye.